Hi parents, today we're going to talk about how to know your kid on the spectrum is ready for potty training. I anticipate you have some suspicion, otherwise you wouldn't have clicked on this video. Maybe you've been researching readiness skills and you're wondering, I think he's ready. Before I get started, parents, you could follow the protocol for potty training by the book, but at the end of the day, if he's missing some of these prerequisite or readiness skills, it's probably not going to set you up for success. If he's not ready, it probably won't be successful. When I work with families and parents, I ask them these four kind of readiness skills before we even begin to approach formal potty training. And if your kid is missing one of these four readiness skills that I look for, that's okay. That's okay because some of these can be taught. Half of them can be taught. Before I begin further, a quick introduction. Hi, my name is Celeste. I'm a BCBA. I've been in the field of ABA therapy for over 13 years, and I've successfully coached and helped parents teach their kid on the spectrum how to be successfully potty trained. Sometimes parents think, oh, my kid's not talking. I don't think he's ready for potty training because how would he tell me he needs to go? But I'm here to say that vocal speech is not required for successful potty training. This video is part 1 of 2. In this video, we'll be talking about prerequisite skills that your kid on the spectrum is ready for potty training. All the green flags, okay? And then in part 2, we'll talk about how to formally introduce potty training, including how to promote communication, how to have him tell you, I need to go to the restroom, okay? So part 1 is readiness skills, checking off the boxes. And then once you have that, go on to part 2. Okay, the first thing I ask parents before we formally start potty training is your kid uncomfortable when they're wet? Do they have a tell, like maybe tugging at their diaper? Or sometimes parents say, oh, he just got undressed on his own, and I'll find a diaper there in the corner. That's a huge green flag. We want him to be uncomfortable when he's wet because it shows that awareness. And then number 2, my follow-up question is, how does he tell you he's wet? So does your kid bring you a dry diaper? Do they take your hand and put it on their diaper as a way of communicating, hey, I need a change? Right? And so those are green flags, but the opposite of that would be, oh, my kid doesn't really care. He doesn't really notice when he's wet. When he goes number 1 or number 2, there's no real indication, and he kind of just doesn't care. I don't really know until I smell it or I check him. So that would be my first inclination, like, maybe we're not ready. Okay, there has to be some awareness there. Let's say you've checked all the boxes so far. He's uncomfortable when he's wet, and then he kind of tells you using his nonverbal communication. Number 3 is a big one. Can he tolerate wearing underwear? Right? When you formally start potty training, he's going to be wearing underwear. In part 2, I'm going to talk about why I really don't recommend Pampers. I really don't recommend pull-ups for potty training because it's kind of like a diaper. We want him to feel that uncomfortable, kind of yucky accident when it happens. It's part of the learning contingency. So this one is a big one. Can he tolerate wearing underwear? A lot of our kids on the spectrum exercise or demonstrate rigidity. So sometimes our learners don't like changes. They don't like that unpredictability. So when we go from a diaper to underwear, is that a big deal? Is there a lot of resistance there? Is there crying, refusal? And if there is, this is one of those skills that are teachable that I was telling you about. So again, working on the prerequisite skills, hit this first before moving on to formal potty training. If you kind of skip this piece and you just jump the gun and go start potty training, it's really going to be messy. It's going to be a lot of resistance, a lot of crying. We don't want that. When we start potty training in part 2's video, we want there to be a solid foundation. We know for sure your kid is ready and there's going to be as little resistance as possible. Okay, here's the last readiness sign I look for. I ask parents, what is our cooperation like when you take his hand and walk him to the restroom and sit on the toilet? Is there crying, resistance, refusal, running away, pulling back? If we have any of those red flags, I really would not formally start potty training because we need to work on this prerequisite skill first. It may be the case where your kid on the spectrum is exercising some rigidity, and the good news is that this skill can be taught. So let me know if you'd like a video on that. But until we have, again, these 4 readiness signs, I wouldn't even look at formal potty training yet. This is just checking off the boxes to see if we're even ready for that big step yet. Thank you for watching, parents. You can find part 2 here. Very excited to support you along this potty training journey. Thank you for watching. From your favorite BCBA, keep showing up, keep putting in the work, parents. You got this.